Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today also we came with another mock interview, and today I have one of my subscriber who approached me, who sent resume to my email ID, and right now we are conducting mock interview for him. So we have Angam with us. So Angam, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, Anil. How are you doing?
Okay, I'm also doing great. So I will start with your introduction. Okay, and this
Yes.
is a mock interview, so we prefer like you can keep your company name secret, or you can avoid that one. Just go with
Yes.
your work experience, tools, technology you have used in your last projects. So please go ahead
Yes.
with your introduction.
Yeah. So, hello everyone. Myself Angan Mundas. So I basically belong from Odisha, and I have 5 years of experience. And currently, I work as a automation engineer, automation test engineer. So yeah, I have work experience in Java Selenium based framework, C Sharp Selenium based framework, and also I have hands-on experience on JavaScript and Playwright. And I have hands-on experience automating the APIs using RestAssured, and also I have used Postman, Swagger, these tools for manually testing the APIs. So yeah, I have experience in manual as well as automation. So, yeah.
Nice, nice, very good, very good. So out of 5 years, what your relevant experience into automation? Everything is in automation, like how it is?
Yeah, so basically the projects which
Okay.
worked in the past. Basically I did manual along with automation. So yeah, I have both the experience simultaneously. So, yeah.
Okay. So which project you are using in your current project? Which framework you are using for automation?
So basically, current project, I'm using a Java Selenium based framework,
Okay.
following page object pattern and having a Cucumber integration with it.
Okay.
So yeah, that is basically the framework. And for the newly created scenarios, we write the feature files, and for the feature files, we write the step definition file using Cucumber and using the framework also. So the framework consists of various components. Basically, there are utils where there are common methods placed in that we use in scripting the newly created scenarios, and there are properties files where there are initialization of browsers, and through that properties files also, that properties files is initialized in another in a class file. So there the
Okay.
driver initialization has been done, and
Okay.
there is a extent report integration also, and through which we generate reports, and yeah, that is basically the overall the framework looks like.
Okay. Nice. Very good. So which version control you are using in your framework?
So in the current project Git, I am using Git as my version control tool. So yeah.
So
So
how you do the Git activities, like you are just committing the code into your GitHub? How will you be doing it? Can you explain it?
yeah, so basically if Git is not initialized in the system, so
Okay.
that is a whole different procedure how to, push the code if Git is not initialized in your local system. So basically, what you need to do is you have to initialize the Git first in your local system. So for that, I have used the command git init. So in that particular folder where that framework exists, yeah, in that folder using the command prompt, you have to firstly go to that particular folder using cd command cd.o, and you
Okay.
have to go to that particular folder, and then you have to initialize the git in,
Okay. Okay.
and so there using that a dot git file is generated in that particular folder.
Okay.
So after that, all those file needs to be staged, and we call it as stash also, and it is also called as commit one, the stage one of commit. So basically, and the command that is used for that is git add star. So star basically means all the files in that particular folder will be committed. Or if you want to, commit a particular file, stage a particular file, so you can simply add that file name also in that. So, so the staging is done. Now we need to commit that. So for that, we use like git commit and /m, and there is a commit message over there. So say, let's say my first commit or second commit, that is the basically the message you need to give. Then you need to check the status if all the files in that particular folder is committed or not. So you can check using get status. So after checking that git status, all the files should be in green. From there, you can recognize that all the files in that particular folder are committed. Okay. So after that, after the commit, you should establish a connection between the remote and the local repository. So for that, a command is used like git uh, sorry, git remote add origin and the branch and that particular SSH in the in the repository you have created, there is a particular address SSH is given. So that is basically added over here. So there is a remote connection established between the remote repository and the local repository you have. So after that, you have to push the code to that particular branch you have created. Suppose
Okay,
if
okay,
we,
okay,
if
fine, fine. So
yes,
you have good knowledge in that one. So can you brief me about if code conflict happen? So how you handle it? Like, and first of all, like what is code conflict? When it
yeah,
happens,
so
and how will happen?
yes.
How will address it?
Yes, so code conflict basically means if you are working in a team,
Okay,
let's say there are five people and they are pushing the code simultaneously and all have different codes in the same file in the same folder. So in that case, there might be a conflict issue if everyone is pushing the code to the same branch, let's say. So yeah, so their conflict occurs. So to avoid that conflict, we use git merge and use that particular branch name to merge all the codes to a particular place in that particular branch. So yeah, that is the command basically used to avoid the conflict.
okay. So how much you are comfortable in Java? Like how much you
Yes,
rate yourself out of five?
I will rate myself as 4 because there are few more areas I need to focus, and
Fine, fine, fine.
I don't have that
So,
much exposure on those areas.
so we'll go with some Java questions. Okay. So,
Yes,
what is the difference between array list and set? Has set.
hashSet. Okay. So basically in hashSet, and there is no duplication. Duplicate elements are not allowed. Where in the array list, duplicate elements are allowed. And the array list is a implementation of list interface, where the hash set is the implementation of set. Yeah, that is basically the difference.
Okay. So, do you have idea about OOPS concept?
Yes, I have
Okay.
knowledge regarding the OOPS concept.
So,
Yes.
where you have used OOPS concept in your framework?
Yes.
Which areas can you just give me examples like where you have used your OOPS concepts, Java OOPS concept in your framework?
Yeah, so basically, OOPS concepts are used in the framework. There are basically four OOPS concept that we basically use in frameworks. That is inheritance, abstraction, polymorphism, and encapsulation. So inheritance, basically when a parent class, the properties of parent class is inherited by the child class, we use the extends keyword. So basically, in the framework itself, we create the utilities, where there are common methods. The common methods we use in the step definition file while we are scripting for the newly created scenarios. So there we extend that particular common method file to that particular test file the test case file basically. So there we use inheritance to extend that particular all those methods, commonly available methods in the what do we say, common utility.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
there we use
Use
inheritance.
inheritance.
Yes, so and that their inheritance is used. And for abstraction is basically data hiding. So data hiding means suppose you are writing a test file, test case basically. We're scripting a base test file. So the browser initialization that is completely hidden. That comes from the properties file. So whenever a client sees that particular code, it doesn't know where the browser is initialized or how the browser is initialized, but we are using that particularly in the test cases. So that is basically abstraction, that is data hiding. And for encapsulation, we use access modifiers. Basically, in the page object pattern, we use page factory, and we use private access modifiers to, bind that particular variable to that particular class. So yeah, so their encapsulation is used. And for polymorphism, method overloading and method overriding. So in method overloading, in the explicit weight, we use time units. In that particular weight, we use a WebDriver weight equals to new WebDriver weight, and in that we give 20 and then time units in second. So that in that particular WebDriver weight, the time units is called. So that method is overloaded with another method. So that is basically the method overloading we use. And
Okay,
overriding,
nice. Nice. We'll
yeah,
go with another question. Can you
yes,
share your screen? Can you open the notepad? Just share
yes.
your screen and open the notepad.
Are
Are
you
you able
able
to?
to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
my
I
screen?
have given you access. Now you can share your screen.
Okay. Yeah. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah. I'm able to see. I'm able to see the Zoom link, like Zoom page. I'm able to see. You can just open the one notepad
Yeah, okay.
and
Open the notepad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Civil system.
So just write the syntax of uh, browser initialization, like how you load the browser. You need to load the Chrome browser. So just write me a syntax like how you load it, like
Okay. So browser initialization, there are two different
simple.
ways.
No. Simple Selenium code to load the browser.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Then I'll ask question from that. Driver equal to new. Okay. So what is WebDriver here?
So WebDriver is basically an interface here,
Okay.
and the implementation is Chrome driver basically.
So it is what is Chrome driver actually?
Chrome driver is a class. WebDriver is interface. So Chrome driver implements that particular WebDriver interface. So yeah.
Okay.
So there are Chrome driver, Firefox driver, Edge driver. Yeah, basically these are the
So
driver class.
which OOPS concept you are using here?
So
Like
yeah, so the interface is used here. So the concept will be abstraction, I guess. Data hiding,
yeah,
we are using this.
abstraction also. You are doing upcasting also, right? And
Yes,
you are
yes.
using the methods of WebDriver into the Chrome driver class. Okay.
Chrome, yes,
So
Chrome driver class.
here you are using runtime polymorphism as well.
Runtime poly.
Yeah. So this is also example of OOPS concept you implement in your Selenium. Okay.
Selenium, yes, yes.
Okay. Fine. Uh, have you worked with REST assured and API testing?
Yes, I have experience working with REST assured and API testing.
So,
Yeah.
what are the static imports used in the REST assured?
Uh, the basically there are two. That is REST assured io.rest assured dot star.
Okay.
Basically, star contains all the methods, and one is io.rest assured. So these are the static imports that contains all the methods used in REST assured.
Okay. Can you write me a code snippet to for the
Get
get method to retrieve the data from the server? You can use the notepad. Just a syntax I want, like which all.
So basically, we use chaining process over here. REST
Okay.
assured dot base URI, and here the URL would be given, and then we use given dot. So get method doesn't contains any body, so we have to just extract the response. So given when here we use get, then dot, then for validation purpose. So in given, we use the preconditions. So if
Okay.
there is no precondition, so that will be fine. No preconditions is there. For
Okay.
get request, there is no body. So if there is any body, I could have given the body over here, or any authorization authentication would be go here. Suppose let's say there is query parameter, so I can put query parameter, query param over here, and I will put the values like this. Okay, and when dot get, and then for validation purpose,
Okay.
and we can use assert, 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 and we can use extract what, and extract we can convert. This will be stored in a request specification body, which will be JSON. So to
Okay.
convert to that, to convert that to, what do we say, to string, we can use to string here. Okay. So I can store that in a string. Suppose response equals to this, then a semicolon. So after that, we can use the JSON path variable to convert that particular JSON to string. Sorry, the string to JSON basically, and we can validate the response and the response body that we are getting from the get call.
Okay. Fine. Fine.
Extract here
So,
will be
okay. Fine.
response would
Fine.
be
Fine.
there.
Fine.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Okay. We'll go with another question. So,
yes.
Angam, what are the
Yeah.
all possible test cases? You can come
Mhm.
up with all the possible test cases for post HTTP post method.
Okay. So for the post request in the body itself, there would be a specific body for the post request, because
Okay.
post request create a new record in the database. So from the body perspective, there are so many validations that schema need to be checked for all the parameters present over there, and we should check the response as well. If it
Okay.
is 200 or 201, 200 stands for OK, and 201 for created. And for the response perspective, we should check the field validation, that is the schema validation, and the minimum maximum value validations. And from the request bodies perspective, there are some mandatory fields that value needs to be checked. If I am passing the null value, how should be the response? If I am passing the maximum value, what should be the response? If I am passing the minimum value, what should be the response? Maximum minus one, minimum minus one, minimum plus one. So that those are all the validations done with the body, request body, specifically for post requests.
Okay. So, what is the difference between 4 node 1 and 4 node 3 status code?
Yeah, so 403 basically stands for forbidden, I guess,
Yeah. Yes, you are
and
right.
401 is for unauthorized. So that is basically the response decoded like this.
Okay, so 403 and 4, do you know some other difference also like?
Other differences for
See, 4 node,
unauthorized,
4
yeah,
node unauthorized means like uh, you can hit the request to the server. Okay, and there like it will check whether like you are authorized, that is you are not whether you are
I am
authorized
authorized or not to
not.
access that particular application.
Okay, fine. And for
Yeah.
the forbidden, like you are able to send the request to the server, but server has some restriction, like it is forbidden to give you the response.
Yes.
Okay, and that
Yes.
another difference is like unauthorized you can try multiple time, but for forwarding like you can try only one time sending
Yes.
request. That is the difference. So what is the difference between put and patch method?
Yes, so basically, both are used to update a specific record, but while updating in bulk, put is used. But while updating a single parameter, patch is used. So basically, that is the difference. So yeah,
Okay, fine. So put has a greater bandwidth, whereas a patch has a
bandwidth is
yeah has a
smaller
like
band.
smaller bandwidth, and you can give put multiple times. You can
Hmm.
send put request multiple times, but it will do change only at one time.
Yes,
Okay, but in patch like it will be creating random values in the server.
random.
Yeah, yeah, that is the difference. Again, so Angam, there is one scenario in your project. Okay, so let's say suddenly your test case scripts are getting failed. Okay, all your scripts are getting failed. So what all root cause analysis you will do for that? Like why your test cases are getting failed? Why your test scripts are getting failed?
Yeah,
Can you
so
come? Can you come up with the few scenarios like for the root cause analysis, which all need fields you need to check, like which all areas you will be checking, like why your test scripts are getting failed?
yeah, so basically, the first thing I will do is I will check for from a particular module it is failing or from different modules those test cases are failing. So I will check whether the test case belongs to different modules or same module. If
Okay.
this if they are failing from the same module, that will be easy because if it is failing from the same module, the root cause analysis will be I mean what do I say will be easier.
Okay.
If the test cases are failing from different module, so you have to check for all the modules one by one how why it is failing and how the I mean is there any functional failure or it is a what do we say script failure or XPath failure. You have to identify that. So basically, I will do that first. I will check the module from which the test cases are failing, and I will then I will try to take a look like if it is a functional failure, application failure, or it is failing due to XPath, or my script is failing. Script has some area failure. So yeah. So that is basically the way I will approach and fixing those failed test cases.
Okay. So you can add a few points like see more. Suppose you get a new build. Okay.
Hmm.
So there might be some changes, like some bug fix will be there, or there
Hmm.
some new feature might have implemented in your
Identity, yes.
application. So because of that, like your DOM or HTML page, there are some changes made there. So because of their relocators have started getting failed. That is the
Failed.
one issue see why your script are getting failed. The another
Hmm.
one is like there will be some issue with the slowness of your application. So whatever the
Okay.
weight you have given, those weight, like let's say like we have given default weight of 10 seconds. Now your application is
Hmm.
taking 20 seconds. Then your application is started getting failed. So meanwhile, you can stop sharing your
Yes.
yes, yes, okay, fine, fine. So that is the other case. So what actually you will do? First of all, like you will check those scripts manually, like whether you are able to reproduce those bugs. If you are able to reproduce the bug, means like there is issue with the application. So you need to take the help of manual team, or you can yourself, you can log a defect in whatever the Jira or bug tracking tool you are using. Else, what
Yes.
you will do, you will try to see like which all are the test cases which are getting failed on the daily basis. Let's say we call it
Mm.
the flaky test cases. So
Flaky
sometime it
tests.
pass or sometime it fail. So you need to do it separate from the rest of the stable scripts. So and again you have to refactor it. You need to put the proper XPath with like XPath function contains
Proper
dynamic
weight
XPath.
also.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And also you need to put proper weight, and you
Mm.
have to rerun those flaky test cases
Fails.
again and again
Yes.
so that it becomes stable. So this can be your reason. Okay. So Angam, there is one situation in your project. Okay. So where like uh, you have a very limited time, and the client is asking you for early release. So how you plan your
Yes.
daily activities, like how you approach in this particular situation, how you divide your tasks.
Yeah, so basically, the project team, the team, it depends on the team structure basically. How, I mean, how large is the team or how many members are associated with that particular team and those managing that testing part. So for the early release part, so basically we will focus on the priority test cases. Those are, I mean, covering the critical functionality of the application. So those will be marked as critical functionalities. So that will be taken care first. So that should not fail in the prod environment, right? So after completing that scenario, that scenario will be divided among the team itself. So some of the members will focus on that particular scenario. Some of the members will focus on the regression scenarios. So as a team, we will complete that
Okay,
particular
fine.
tasks.
Means you
Yes.
need to prioritize your tasks. Okay, which all
Yes.
tasks are
Yes.
like on a priority basis. So
Mm.
like first you need to see like whether there are some defects, you need to close it, or
Mm.
there are the test cases. In test cases also you need to just filter it like which all are the priority P1 test
Priority
cases. So
one.
you need to execute
Yes.
those test cases first. Okay. So like and in the nutshell, like you have to prioritize your work, and if you want like if it is not possible, you can communicate with your manager or team like like you want some extra help from the other team
Help.
as well, because
Yes.
as a whole, like we are working as a team, right? For a company we
Team.
are working as a
Yes.
team. So those
Team.
like who are working on some different module also, like you have to stretch yourself. Like client is asking for the early release, you can take help from them as well. And again, those things like you'll prioritize your work. That is the first thing you will do.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So there is a scenario where like you miss a defect in your regression
Mm.
cycle. Okay, and
Yes.
now
Yes.
it came in production.
Mm.
Okay, and
Mm.
the customer has logged defect for the production. So what all the things you will do in this scenario?
Yes. So for regression scenarios, I would check the priority of that priority and severity basically of that particular bug. So first of all, I will check how priorities or how severe it to the application, how it is affecting the application in prod. Basically, I will check that.
You are not getting me, Angam. Okay, let's say
Yes.
you have missed a particular scenario. There might be
Okay.
some reason like you have not tested it, or it is not a
Okay,
straightforward.
that is not
Start.
tested
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, that is not a straightforward scenario, or you don't have
Okay.
test case for that. Now, customer had logged defect for that. So it is a
Okay. So
very like
basically, what you are telling is that is
you
a
are
edge case.
you are getting escalation from the customer like you have missed
Okay.
a defect. So in that
Mm.
scenario, I'm telling you. So if you want, I can explain the answer for you. So let's say
Yes.
if you get a defect in your customer environment, then just you will go through those defect description and you will try to reproduce in your QA environment.
Even
Okay.
yes, I
So
mean, first I will try to replicate in lower environments,
yeah,
then I
lower,
will
yeah,
try to
fine,
replicate in
fine,
higher
yeah.
environment.
Then again, you will check the what are what are the environment the client
Ah,
is
yes.
using. You can
Mm,
you can check with the error logs, application logs. Okay, and if you try to reproduce that
mm,
defect, the first thing is that again
mm,
you can do root cause analysis. You can raise ticket for root cause analysis. Like why? See, if you have missed a bug, then it is like it will be get escalated on the team. Okay, like it is not a good impression for tester if he missed a bug. So
yes.
in that case, but if we are human being, we do some error. Okay, like we are not
Mistakes.
machine
Yes. Yeah.
mistakes. So that is fine. So you need to add test case for that particular scenario so that in the future you will not miss that uh, scenario and you will not.
Particular scenario.
Yeah. So you will be add test cases for that in your regression cycle,
Mm,
and you can go for the five in root cause analysis. There are two different approach. One is 5 why, means you will
mm,
ask question 5 times why this happens. Okay, is there issue with the environment? Okay, is environment there is no issue. There might be some issue with
mm,
your test scripts, or there might be some issue with your like flaky test cases, or there might and why or like why your that or there might be some issue with your QA environment, particular whether like the code is not deployed properly or something. So means we'll ask the questions like five, and then another approach is the fish bone model. So where like we'll have the fish, you might have seen the fish bone how it is. So you can
ah,
go with that approach. You have to scan in that way.
yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So Angam, there is one situation. Okay, where like you are following Agile, right, in your current project. So there is a situation where like clients come with a new requirement. Okay, in the middle of the project, and your framework, like how you should design your framework to implement those requirement, those module you want to edit, how you will go with ahead, and what POC you are doing or what research you are doing for with respect to your framework, so that it is able to handle the future requirement as well. So can you a little bit elaborate on it?
Okay, so for future requirements, so I will try to clear the requirements from the PO perspective, from PO and BA. I will try to clear all those requirements. What is the requirement basically? What is the acceptance criteria?
Okay.
Basically. So uh, after clearing all those things, acceptance criteria, what are the basic expected outcomes, actual outcomes. So I will try to implement those things in the framework itself. So what are the new methods will be required for that particular implementation? So what are the methods needs to be changed? What are the what are the util files I need to add? So basically, I will check that. So I will proceed
So
in that way.
have you involved in framework development like from scratch? Have you in?
Yes,
Okay, so very nice.
not from the scratch, but I have done framework.
Okay.
I mean, there are frameworks basically, but I know how to do
Okay,
it
fine.
from scratch. Yes.
Means in a project, well, like you were part of developing the framework.
Hmm.
So, what things you have done, like you that has added like extra mile in your QA career? Like, yes, I have today I have done something new in your framework. I have added any new things, or I have implemented something. So, do you have any idea like you have done something? You might have done something in your career of 5 years.
Yeah, basically, yeah, while I was working for a company, there is a particular application. So I was the only QA members associated with that particular application. I was only testing that particular application. So I need to I mean, rapid, rapidly test that application. I mean, little bit fasten my pace to test that particular application. So basically, what I did is I learned Playwright with JavaScript, that particular tool.
So guys, due to some technical issues, network issues, we disconnected. Now we are reconnecting. So Angam, almost we are in the last phase of our interview, and it was really a nice experience with you, talking with you. And what is your feedback about this interview? Like how you are feeling after giving this interview?
Yeah, basically the interview went very well. So the questions that you asked, I have given couple of interviews and those questions were repeated. So, you are conducting that in very well mannered, well structured. These interviews we are conducting. So yeah, basically, this will help a lot of us with, concentrate more on the interview part. More questions we'll get to know. Yeah, so
Yeah,
overall, a
so
very positive experience.
yeah, nice. So generally, I am putting my effort. So
Yes.
to make the candidates comfortable. So let's say like if they are facing the interviewer for the first time, okay. So they don't know like how to behave, and like they don't
Yes.
know how to answer those questions, okay. So
Questions.
once they
Yes.
are done with the mock interviews, so they will feel comfortable. Okay, I have done it before as well. Okay, so how like even meanwhile you are answering, sometime I interrupt you, and sometime I like corrected you somewhere. So there is a learning process. Okay, so this is all the learning process. So you will come to know like how to answer the questions and all. And I also appreciate you, like you come forward and you show your interest for giving the interview. Like it's a good gesture, and thank you for that joining us our platform. And definitely this video will going to help to those candidates, those testers who are actively and seriously looking for the job interview, and like how these job interviews are going conducted, and like how they can improve themselves in the interview process and all. So thank
Yeah.
you, Angam. And do you have any other questions from your end? We can ask those
Uh,
questions.
no, basically, I want you to basically rate me on the basis of the interview you have taken. So, how
Okay.
was my performance basically?
Angam, you have a nice in-depth knowledge. Okay. But only one feedback I'll give you because mostly you answered all the questions. Okay. The feedback is that while explaining the questions, answers, right? So there will be a limited time period. Okay. Let's say like it will be 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or 1 hour. So in that time period, interviewer want from you like whatever the answer you are giving, so it should be crisp. Okay.
Okay.
So means you can let's say like if he's asking any difference also, so you can just go with some 4 and 5. You should prepare with some 4 and 5 differences between let's say abstract class or interface or anything. Or if he's asking any concepts, let's say like while describing the GitHub commands, okay, okay, you might have done it in a crisp way. The way you explain, definitely it will help our subscriber in their learning process. But actually here we are preparing for the mock interviews. So there like you
Yes.
need to come with the different commands. Let's say like he asked like which all how you have used Git. How. So like you can say like we do commit stage then push, and these all commands we are using like git status, git add, then git merge. If like if we have some conflict occurs, then you do. And there are all a lot of commands like how to navigate to origin and all clone. So those things you can explain briefly. But
Yes.
anyway, like it will help our subscriber only. Like they'll
Yes.
come to know
Yes.
about like it's a two-way learning process, and we are making mock interviews not for ourselves only, not for me, not for you, but for the subscriber also, like who are watching our videos, and
Huh.
they are learning something from our content. So, like if
Yes.
our interview helps a single candidate, like who's facing the interview tomorrow, update tomorrow in the coming week.
Yeah. So basically, Anil, you are doing a great job to this. I am one of your subscriber. I am reached out to you. So many of the subscriber will reach out seeing this video for the interview basically. So it will be very helpful if they are preparing for the interviews or preparing for job switches. So yeah, kind of this channel is helping the candidates in many ways. Um, they know the questions as well, and they know the concepts. So yeah, basically this channel is helping. So I wish you all the best for the channel
Thank you
and
so
hope
much, Angam. Thank you.
you reach
It,
as much as subscribers possible.
it's
Yes.
really means a lot to me. Okay. So
Yes.
with all my busy schedule, I'm
Yes.
trying to keep some time for these interview questions and all. And guys,
Yes.
I have my Topmate account as well. Like those who want to, as a freelancer, I'll be taking interview. Those who want to give interview, I'll mention my Topmate account in description. You can reach to us. So, and if you want to give interview on YouTube, it is free of cost. We are not charging a single penny for that. You can just, I'll mention my email ID. You can send your resume, and we'll go ahead with your available time. We'll decide, and we'll go ahead with the mock interviews. So, Angam, thank you, Angam, for joining us.
Thanks. Thanks, Anil.
Uh,
Thanks. I'm
Chalo,
sorry.
chalo.
Yeah.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.